G'day everyone and welcome back to Tom's Brook Farm. We've got lime here. So last week while Henry and I were in town, the lime got delivered. So this is what we're going to be putting on the paddock, on this paddock just here actually. So we're using this to increase our pH. I'll go into that when we get to it. But yeah, so there is 450 tonne of lime here. Now the brilliant thing about the lime is it's screened. You can see there's no lumps in it. So yeah, it's essentially, well, it's lime sand. So essentially it's just sand. It's actually quite difficult to spread to your distance of 12 meters, but that's only when it's dry. When it's wet like this, yeah, it'll spread. So we're gonna get the gear down here. I don't know if we'll go spreading today or not. We'll just see if this dries out. As you guys can probably tell, it's a bit different to the last few videos that we've been doing. We've got some moisture in the air, and we actually got rain. So the last video I watched, we also got rain. So we got what did we get? We got 11 mils last Sunday, and I recorded that last video on Monday, and then that was the only thing I recorded that week. So following that, the following 2 days, we were down at the house site just dealing with the pool and everything like that. I'll go into that later on. So I didn't have the camera with me. And then we went to town. Henry and I both had our forklift training, so we'll get into that as well. But yes, well, on Sunday again, we got 30 mils of rain. 30 mils! So look at that. Puddles. Big puddle. We got puddles everywhere. It was a quick rain, but it did two things. It filled up our tanks. Didn't fill up our, no, when I say filled up, it brought the levels up a little bit. It also got some water into our dams. Not a huge amount of water, but still got water into our dams, which is nice. And yeah, so that was fantastic that we got rain. So yeah, again, puddles. So yes, Henry and I went to town. We did our forklift training, forklift license. For anyone who doesn't know or is operating forklifts without licenses, you need one. And actually, if you well, by March 31st, you need one. If you're operating, well, everywhere you need one. It'll take a while for it to get to ag. It always does take a long time to get to ag, but if you're working for like a truck freight company, or even just like a chemical company, something like that, running forklifts, you like they'll crack down on you to the point that you won't be able to use them and you'll get fined. So yeah, we went and did that. So it's 2 days of a very boring course of learning how to drive a forklift. They scare you a bit. They go, you got to do a 66 question exam, closed book, and you have to get 100% right. And when you're going through the practice one, you know, it's like list 7 things of legislation, and you're like, oh my god, how am I going to remember this? But turns out you only needed to remember like 2 or 3 of them. So they want you to remember all of it, but then you've only got to remember 2 or 3. So it wasn't as bad as what Henry and I thought. We both thought we were going to fail because there was no way we were going to remember that stuff. But we both passed, and then of course we passed the forklift driving with flying colours because, well, myself, I've been driving a forklift since I was 17, and Henry's, you know, not far off the same. So yeah, we just went straight through the course very quickly compared to the other guys who are quite literally just learning on a forklift. So yeah, when I think it's like the March 20th and 21st, we've got our confined spaces and working at heights. So more training, but then that's all our training done, and then in 5 years we've got to go and renew it all. Alright, so I've just ducked down to the house, the new house that is, and just picked up the telehandler. We had it down here so that we could be putting all the sand around the pool, and it was very helpful for that. But Henry obviously needs that for spreading, so we're getting that out. The guys don't need it anymore. The pool is pretty much done. It's full of water. The sand's pretty much all level the whole way around. The only thing is the pump and stuff isn't hooked up yet, but they're currently, well, they're about 10 minutes away, and they're going to get it working into that. The painters are also there, so I'll show you guys all around once there's no tradies there. Just makes it easier. But lifting the pool in, that was a bit fun. So I put up some photos now of yeah, craning the pool in. So it's a big pool, so it's 8 meters by 4 meters, and the kids are very excited to go swimming in it. And yeah, we had the crane there obviously, and just dropped the pool in, and then yeah, then it was trying to level it out, make sure the pool was level. They concreted around the back, and they also put in a like a leach drain down the bottom so that we can pump out like if we have torrential rain and all around the pool, so we can get all the water out, which is good. So yeah, no, the pool, we're very excited for it. We the kids and I were hoping to go for a swim yesterday, which was Monday, but it unfortunately wasn't ready. So it was a bit of a disappointment for all of us, but that's all right. But yeah, the painters are there, so that's amazing. The cabinet maker was there just the other day, so all these cabinets are in. Yeah, all the bench tops, the ensuite, everything is in. It all looks bloody amazing. We're getting very excited. We're not going to be in by Easter, which was what our date was. We will be in hopefully by May. So when seeding finishes, hopefully we're in, which we're fine with, because that way we're not going to be trying to move into a house while seeding, because we know that as soon as we can move into that house, we're going to try and move into that house. So yeah, we're fine with that. So yeah, the water tank, I've got the water tanker down there. I need to go and pick that up. I probably should have taken Bill down now, but I wasn't sure if it was empty or not. So yeah, Henry's going to bring the telehandler back up here. He's going to grease it and get that all ready. I'm going to shoot back down and go and pick up the water trailer, bring it back, and yeah, then we'll probably get the gear down to Athens there, so that Henry can maybe start lime today. We'll see. So one thing that happened last week, which you guys already know because I was saying, see, Terminator came out. So James and Henry came out from see Terminator, and they swapped out the mills. So these are the old mills. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to film it. They were here the same time that I was down at doing the pool and everything like that all day. So I was only able to duck back here just to catch up with them every now and then. So there was no filming that happened, so I apologise for that. But yeah, it would have been good to film and show the process, but didn't happen. So these are the old mills. They're getting a bit rusty now, but they're going to go to the rock. They actually like to put the oxy through them so that I can't go, hey, anyone here want a mill? Because obviously that's worth a lot of money. So yeah, these will go to the rock. We'll pull off the flails, which are all rusted up at the moment. The flails, the gearbox, the pulley. I think one of the pulleys underneath I can also use. So we're going to take all that off and put that in the loft, or it'll probably actually go on a pallet in the on the pallet racking in there, because that stuff is still good. That can still be used on the new Terminators. So let me show you the new ones. They are nice and slick. So they are very nice and slick. They're nice and tight. They butt up nicely to the machine. So let's see. I might be able to. I'll lift one of the choppers up and I'll show you. Okay, so I've got it lifted up. So you can see over there how it all comes in nice and tight, and you can see the hopper that's here. So you can see just how tight they have got it now, and it all just comes in at the moment. This is actually in the bypass mode. So this means that the Terminators actually aren't getting anything go through. This plate here lifts up and it just goes in between this ribbing here, and it catches everything that comes off the sieves there. And yeah, it's fantastic. It is just so well. They've developed it a lot better than what the originals were. Obviously, as what happens with time and progression with the business. But being able to have this chopper the whole way back is just fantastic, because we used to have the chopper up a little bit, which changed a whole bunch of pulleys and everything. So all the pulleys are back on. We can now, like it is now, we can now bypass it. So hypothetically, if a belt goes, a gearbox goes, we've got damage to the Terminators and we can't actually replace them because we don't have the parts, we can just whack it into bypass mode, detach a belt, and off we go. You can just keep on harvesting, which we couldn't do with the previous ones. So for example, you know, a belt goes, it's like, right, bypass, keep harvesting, duck to town, so you got 2 hours of in and out, and then put the new belt on, so it's only 2 hours it didn't run with the Terminator. So that I like. It's just so nice and neat and pushed in. And look, we even got a nice sticker. So there you go. But yeah, I do apologise. I do wish I could have filmed it, but yeah, it is what it is. So I'm going to grab Bill out. I'm going to head down and go and get the water tanker. I want to show you something. So we had quite a lot of wind, bad wind last week. And this is the only damage we got, which is nothing. But this has come off. So that is the door holder. Came up to work after lunch or whatever, and the doors are just swinging. Excuse me. And essentially, what's happened is the weld's just broken. So we've got to weld that up today. But I've got to get in there and undo it because Bill's just there. So I've got a ratchet strap at the moment holding it all together. So I've got the truck back here. Now what we have done on the when we're in town, I took the spare one of these that we had and taken that to Kingy at Wicked Welding, and they're going to use the stud pattern off this, make up a flange to just go on to BSB 4-inch thread, to which we'll just buy 6 taps, chuck them on, and it'll make it a bit longer, so it'll probably be out here, but that way we've got proper taps on there. I can get this thing back and working because we've still got this one not working, and this back tank doesn't sound it, but it's full of rainwater, so be nice to get that all sorted and have that truck working properly. Alrighty, we're back from lunch. So before lunch we emptied off the trailer that we got all the stuff from my house and got all that stuff unloaded. We also took a nice big long shed of tin down to Henry's place because just like up there, the camera's not going to show it. Nah, there's a big hole here from a windstorm on that clear Perspex stuff, and that happened at Henry's as well. He lost a whole 6 metre length, and it's just taken us this long to, well, we had to order stuff, or we waited until my roof was done and then we could use one of those pieces of tin. Now the winner for the boggings, I'll put it up here now, but that was Lockie Hansen, so well done to him. 11 boggings is what we ended up with in the end. Henry was quite surprised as well when I told him the number. But yeah, so 11, not 56 or 38 like some people were guessing. That was, I think we would have given up if we got, you know, that much. But yeah, so no, 11 times he got bogged. And then I didn't count the times that we pulled him through with the tractor on that whole video, because technically he didn't get bogged. We were pulling him from the start. So yeah, Lockie's got himself a hat coming his way. So now Henry's just starting over there. We're going to dismantle these Terminators for parts. The cages are still good. We'll get them all off and we can have a decent look. But the cages are still good. The rotors are actually still good. We can't use these rotors or cages in our new mills, but it's no good to go and throw them away. Someone might want them or something like that. So the things we're going to keep, the flails, I believe this spindle is good to keep. I'm not too sure about that. We'll have to have a look underneath. The both gearboxes, these guys are good to keep, so we'll keep them. And yeah, we'll just have a look at anything underneath, like all the pulleys. If anything's good under there, we'll keep them. Make sure I don't jam my fingers on that rotor. Ready? Go my way.
It reads into the hub.
Yeah.
Or the spindle.
So the flails, as you can imagine, are well. First of all, I'll just wait. So the flails, well, first of all, when we're saying flails, we mean these things here. So this is what hits the stubble and directs it where to go. They, as you can imagine, they're all perfectly weighted. So they're all, we want to make sure we keep them together. Even though they're worn, they can still go onto something if we need it desperately. Now, the way to get them off is there's a nut under there, and then Henry's got to whack it this way, loosens the nut down, and then I should be able to do that. So obviously you've got to get them torqued up properly when you're doing them up, because it's such a high moving part that such a high moving part that you want all these need to be exactly weighted the exact same and torqued up all right so nothing falls off. It's just when we get to the next part we're not too sure. We've only changed the rotors once, so we're pretty sure we undo these nuts here, and then to lift it up, because it'll be stuck to the bottom, there's holes there like a grub screw, and we've got to screw down into that, and then the thing should come off. So we'll attempt that and see how we go. So just try that one. Oh, hang on. Yep, ready to go. Is that doing the stud, you reckon? Alright, that could be our dicky stud, so we'll just do one more.
Yep. Turn in the studs.
Well, that's not ideal. So we know we need to heat them from back when Afri tried to do these the first time. They do it up with Loctite, so if you try and do it without heat, you'll just, it's an actual stud, like a tyre stud. Yeah, like press stud going in the bottom. So if you don't do it right, you turn the whole stud, which we believe we're doing, which then means you can't get them off or do them back up. So yeah, try and just try on the other one. We'll do it cold. Oh, no,
pretty tight. We got 2.
2 out of 6. That stud is just spinning. We're battling. We got 2 off that one and the rest are still on. So we switched to this one and we got all of them off. So this one here the stud is twisting, but I've got plenty of room to just cut it. And this one here is just completely turning. Like, we got it loose, so it's come up, and then now it's turning the stud. So what we're going to do, like, we wanted to get one completely off, and then we can judge if like the part is worth keeping or not. We can't keep the pulley underneath anyway. I'm not sure about this whole unit. I don't think they, oh yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we're just going to cut it off. We've got 4 of them here, so yeah, we're going to cut it. We can get this rotor off. This is what they call the rotor. And yeah, see what the go is, and then we can make a plan for the other ones. So we've cut them off. We made a mess of the rotor. The rotor is not usable anymore. But Henry's put the bolts in, which is lifting the whole thing up. He's just about run out of thread now, and I'm hoping we can pry it after that. And then, yeah, we can see now. See, Terminator wanted us to put a oxy through all of it anyway, so it ain't a big loss to us, because you can see the bolt, just I couldn't get it, and yeah, just the slag and whatnot just cut into the rotor, so the rotor's no longer usable because the weight will be off, and obviously the structural integrity on that hole. So yeah, we'll they're good for, you know, ornaments or something like that as well, because like I said, we can't actually use these on our oh yeah, that's moving it. We can't actually use these on our current mills anyway, because we've got different mills. So I better put this down. Is this whole thing hot? No. So you can see the studs, they're pressed in from the bottom. Yeah, I don't know if I can use this or not. Looks like you undo this and this slides off, but that I think is also, oh no, we can knock these nuts out, but we can't use the pulleys underneath because the pulleys are like a high and a low speed. The new one, so this was controlled by two belts, one controlled one mill, one controlled the other. The new one, it's all done by one big belt, so it's one big 4-rib belt, so you can't use the existing pulleys anyway, because the belt will only be running on 2 of the ribs instead of all 4. So, yeah, we'll get the other flowers off the other ones, see if we can get them off easily. If not, we'll just leave them there, and we'll steal the gearboxes. And while we've got it off, I can show you the wear on it without getting burnt fingers. So you guys might be able to see how it's a bit wobbly as you go along. So that's the wear on the rotor. These rotors have actually done quite a few seasons, I think, so I don't think they changed these. Oh, they might have changed these last year when they did the service.
I can't remember, they definitely did the flails and the
cage.
cages.
Yeah.
I can't remember about the...
Not sure about that, yeah. So the cages, again, they are not very worn at all, which is disappointing to be getting rid of them, but yeah. What we used to do, because they used to come in separate parts, and we might have already showed you guys, but we used to make fire pits out of them. So we've got one sitting right here. This is the old one, so you can see how the design's changed. They've got, these were small, they're now gone to nice big ones, but you can see they used to get worn out very quickly. And this one here actually isn't too bad. We got other fire pits that are missing like whole sections along here. So yeah, anyway, we'll keep fighting on in here. All right, so of course we didn't have the camera on, but we've taken the whatever you want to call it, let's call it the spindle, the drive, whatever you want to call it. So this was on top here, and then it has all these special locking collars inside. So we've got that out now. I believe that this is still good, so we can save these. Now I'll show you the studs that I was meaning. So these studs we can just whack out and punch new ones back in, so it doesn't matter that we do have, over here, these two ones are cut. So what we're going to do, Henry just suggested, because we've got 4 on here, these 4 here are all buggered. What we're going to do is undo this, and then we're going to take all of these locking collars off, and then lift the whole thing off, and then we're going to go for it that way. Then we can either grip onto the studs on the other side or hit them back in, give it a go that way. So yeah, stay tuned for this. So you saw there, that just popped out nicely. So Henry's just putting these ones in there. It's a weird pattern, as you can see. It's not even, but it works. Yep. 1, 2. That worked a lot better. So we've got all of them off. You can see we're missing one. So the first one we actually did, not sure why, but as we were undoing it, like cross-threaded, probably put too much heat into it, and then because we're got the bar on an angle, well, on a distance, you got torsion. So it cross-threaded the nut as we got it off. So we ended up heating it and chiseling it off. So that one's gone. So now we just need to, well, we'll probably put this down on the ground. We're going to clean up our holes, our 4 holes here, and then put in our previous bolts, and then we can pop this, lift the rotor off of the spindle, and then we've got them split. And then we've got 2 more to go, and then the gearboxes. Well, we had great success with getting all them off. At the beginning, it didn't look like we were going to have much fun and luck, but we got there. So they're all off. We got 3 of the spindles just there, 1 of them there. Tomorrow's mission is going to be getting the gearbox off. Actually going to be quite easy. It's just held on by 4 bolts. The only thing is that underneath we got the belts on, so we might need to actually lift it up with the forklift to loosen the belts off, because the belts are under tension, so we can't get the gearbox out. But yeah, that'll be tomorrow's job. We're also going to see if Henry can get spreading tomorrow, and if he does, then that'll be us getting the trays out again and laying them all on the ground, making sure we can get our spread for gypsum, for lime correct. So yeah, that'll be tomorrow. We're going to leave the video there. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.